Hey guys, welcome to another episode of RDCustom Diecast. We are going to get started on this VW delivery van today. You had seen this in an earlier video. If you haven't, go check it out for the how to strip diecast vehicles. Go check out that video. We stripped this particular one along with several others, and I'll show you what we're gonna do today for this. One, we need to polish this out and clean it up before we go ahead and shoot paint on it. It's pretty clean, as you guys can see. You could just clean it up and make sure, use any kind of degreaser or something like that on it. Make sure there's no oils or anything residue left from handling it before you shoot the paint. And you can actually shoot it at this point, but we're going to polish it up a little bit, get it looking a little bit better before we shoot paint on it. So on this one, we are going to install some brass axle tubes on here. We're going to use these M2 wheels, and I have a video on how to convert these to actually install those on with the axle tubes that we're going to be using. So you can check out that video as well. We'll do a little painting on the inside of this. You can't see a whole lot from the inside with that smoke windshield, but we'll do a little bit. We're not going to go too elaborate. We're not going to do really anything in the back. You're not going to be able to see this, but we'll do something up front here. Maybe paint the steering wheel, do some minor improvements on this particular one. All right, and we're also going to paint this in 3 colors. This is going to be a RASTA color themed van, and these are the colors that we're going to go with. We go with a pearl green, lime green, bismuth yellow, and this is a pearl red. We're going to put it over a black base, and they should look similar to this once we get it done. Now on the paint, I said we was going to use 3 colors. Actually, that's incorrect. We're going to use 4. We're going to use white on top. Probably stop right here at this line. This section right here going forward will be red. We'll also tape off and mask right around the center section here all the way around. That'll be yellow, and I'll try to sweep it down to match the curvature right here. And the last color that'll go on it is the green on the bottom. So that's what we're looking at today. I'm gonna go ahead and let me get some of this put away where it doesn't get messed up while I'm polishing, and we'll get to polishing this body out. Now after we get done polishing it, make sure if you do this, you do clean up any of the polish residue out of it. I use some Dawn dish detergent just to clean everything up really good. It gets all the oils and everything off of it, any of the residue left from that polish, because when we're polishing it, it's going to get on the inside. So it's easy enough to clean up that outside with a microfiber or a towel, but make sure you clean that inside up as well, especially if you're going to spray the inside. Okay, so got my Dremel, and just got a polishing wheel on it. I'm going to take some of this Mother's Aluminum Mag polish. There is a Blue Magic polish as well that you can use, so feel free, if you want to use that, you can. I'm going to apply this with my finger. Sometimes I apply it directly to the brush, but we're just going to put it directly on here. I'm going to be generous with it. Once it gets on that brush and embedded in that brush, it'll be loaded up pretty good anyway. Now this Mother's or the Blue Magic you can get at the parts stores locally, or you can order it online. Hey guys, that's about where we want it. I'm gonna go clean it up, get a microfiber cloth on it after I wash it with some Dawn's dish detergent, and I'll show you what it looks like after we get it cleaned up. Okay guys, I'm back. Taking a microfiber cloth. This is actually a soft microfiber you can get at Dollar Tree in the automotive section. I like using it. Microfibers usually won't scratch anyway, but I have got some microfibers that are kind of rough that has left marks. I don't know why. Maybe they're just cheap microfibers, but this I've had good luck with. As you can see, that's what she looks like after she's cleaned up. Oh, just to tell you, I told you to clean it up with Dawn and just hot water and get on the inside. Like I said, I should have showed y'all there is some buildup on the inside. Get you a toothbrush or your wife's toothbrush. No, just kidding. Get a toothbrush, clean it out on the inside. And what'll also help you do on the outside, any of these crevices like this around this license plate area, around these lines around the doors and stuff like that, the corner post here where the windshield is, all that, anything that's tight, get in there with this with a toothbrush. It'll help you clean it up while you're washing it off, and when you're done, that's what she's going to look like. Now I'm going to do one more step. Prior to shooting this, I will use 91% alcohol, and I will actually go ahead and wipe it down once I get some hemostats or something to hold this with. I'll initially go in and shoot the inside, then I'll turn it over, and then I'll shoot that base on the outside. So let me get set up for that, and I'll go ahead and I'll have this pre-prepped, ready to go. I'm not going to show you all that. That's pretty self-explanatory what to do there. We'll shoot that first base coat on there, and we'll let her dry, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, we're back. We got our paint mixed up. We went ahead and cleaned these parts up we're about to shoot, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn this fan on, and it's gonna get a little noisy. We'll try to see if we can get that noise down on the video, that way I don't have to listen to it the whole time. And we're gonna go ahead and get this base coat on. Hey guys, that's all we're gonna do on this one. Like I say, right now I'm just using the dual action to blow some air. Try to get the flash a little faster. Okay guys, we're back. We got our base on. We're gonna go with the white on the roof next. So we'll go ahead and do that. Make sure you clean your airbrush out good. It had a black base in it before, and it will tint that white if you don't get that clean good. So properly clean your airbrush. light at first. We're going to go back over it. Alright guys, the end of my pot anyway, so we're going to call that good. Okay guys, we're back. Mixed up some Wicked Pearl Red. I put a little bit of Candy 02 in the Blood Red also in it. Put a little Balance and Clear and Reducer in it. And we're going to go ahead and shoot it. I didn't show you this, but I went ahead and painted the interior white, and then we'll detail it out. So it's going to be a white interior with some details. So this is done. We're going to take it out, just set it to the side. It's done for now. Went ahead and taped this off. Combination masking and some vinyl. So we're going to go ahead and shoot this next. The next color that we're going to do after this one is going to be the Bismuth Yellow. Okay guys, we're back. Got this taped off, we can shoot yellow. And we went with the Wicked Bismuth Yellow. Added a little Candy Tequila Sunrise, or Tequila Yellow. So let's go ahead and shoot this and get this next color on here. Alright, here we go. Gonna build up this color slow. This is not, excuse me guys, this is not a pearl, but it does have candy in it. probably, excuse me, we're probably going to have about 5 or 6 layers. I can tell you, if we would have went with the white base coat, that we could have got away with less layers. Covering over a dark base coat, you generally need to put a few more layers on. However, if you look at the color swatches that I have on my spoons, the black is the closest to the color combination that I wanted for these RASTA colors. And I still had to add some of that tequila yellow to darken it up, tone it a little bit. What we're probably going to do today is go ahead and finish up the paint, apply the water slides, and then I'm going to probably call it for the day. And at that point, what I like to do is let those water slides fully dry. Hopefully make sure they don't have any bubbles under them. And then tomorrow we will finish this up. We'll clear coat it. I'll see y'all just shortly, and we will have the bottom half taped up. We'll get it sprayed, let it dry, and we'll do a reveal on the colors. We will do the water slides, and that's about to the point where we probably will stop for the day. All right, guys, got this taped up. We're going to shoot this last color on here. So this is going to be the pearl lime green with some candy emerald mixed in. Got a little reducer, little balancing clear in it. So let's get this in the gun. And let's get going. Before we started, this was blue. This comes from a 1999 set of Matchbox, a 5-pack. I found at a Goodwill, and I've got that on one of my videos. Y'all can go check it out. All right, when we come back, I'll have it all unwrapped and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, guys, we're back. We have the shot, let it set for a while, took the tape off, and here's what we got. Still not finished. Still gonna put water slides, clear. See if we can get this in focus. Maybe that's a little bit better. And we still got to do some detail work on the lights and all that, so that's still to come. So we're back. We're gonna go ahead and put the water slides. This paint's cured now. That's what it turned out like. Still got to clear it. I think it looks pretty good. Okay. This should be ready. I'll start to slide it just a little bit. Try to get this where y'all can see it. All right. Now that it's on there, we can move it around. That's just about right. Once I get it in place where I want it, I'm going to check for air bubbles, and I'm going to try to roll them out. Now, your water slide's going to want to move around, so this one did pretty good. There's really not any air bubbles. There's one, and I think I got it. Okay, and then I'm going to take the dry end of this Q-tip and just carefully roll. All I'm doing is taking some of the water and trying to roll it out from underneath. So I got a little bit of wiggle room to play with it if you need to. And as you're doing this, see how easy that moves? Now I got my thumb on it. Good, it should be okay. If you see any areas that have bubbles or sticking up, try to get them pressed down. It's your opportunity. Okay, we got it on there, guys. Here we go. Just make sure your edges aren't lifting. Make sure everything's smooth out. Everything looks good. What do you think, guys? Pretty cool, huh? And we'll apply it right there. Sorry if you guys didn't see that. I get it in position. I try to do this one on camera. Sorry, it's a little bit smaller, but try to line it up. Got the water out. We go up just a little bit. And it's tiny, but it has his name on there. So that's what we're looking for. Plenty of water. Set this down just for a second where I can get that water slide. Here we go right here. See that spot right there? Just get you a clean wet Q-tip. Just kind of go over this, make sure that's from that candy bleeding out. So once we seal coat it, we're not gonna have that issue. And while it's wet right now, I want to go back through here and make sure I get all those little imperfections out. All right, guys. Got the water slides on. Next project right now, we're going to do next, we're going to let this set, let it dry. We're going to do the axle channels. We'll move all this paint stuff out of the way. And once we get the axle channels done, I'll show you what the wheels and everything look like after we're done with that. Okay, guys, we're back. We're going to go ahead and modify this base right here to accept channel. Basically just brass tubing. It's going to set in here like this. We're going to cut it off the size. I'm going to show you how to fit it. I'm going to show you how to glue it up and get the custom axles in. We're going to use these M2 wheels that we drilled on a previous episode on how to drill M2 wheels for some of your customs. You can actually get bigger tubing. I don't have the right size tubing for the M2 axles. You could actually cut those to length and use the existing M2 axles if you glue those up. The one I've got is just slightly too big, and I don't like how much wobble it has in it. So we're going to go with this and use the Hot Wheels axles. I've actually, you know, I may not even go with the Hot Wheel axles. I've got some dressmaker pins that we actually might cut down and use because they have a little bit better finish on the end of them. So I'll show you that as well. But you can definitely use these. You don't have to have the dressmaker pins. So first thing we want to do is fit this in this channel. So what you're going to have to open up on this particular one, I'll show you here. This will not fit down in there. So already started filing just a little bit. But what you're going to want to do is file all the way down to your actual channel here. That way this will set flush. So what you can use for that is some micro files. There's different styles. I like something with a flat surface. This is curved. I really don't like that. Also, look, this does not have a cutting edge on this particular one, but it does on this side that's rounded. This more flat side does not have a cutting edge. So you're not going to be able to use that back side. It's not going to do you any good. However, on these, both sides of the, actually all four sides is cutting sides on these flat ones. So let me get in here, open this up, and then we'll cut the brass tubing length. After we do that, we'll get everything lined up, and I'll get it up in the alignment jig, show you how that I use that for this. Now I can see a line all the way across, so we should be good. That's laying in there. I'll make a mark in a minute. We'll cut that to length, but let's get this other channel opened up. And once we get everything lined up, I'm going to show you how to glue it in place. We're going to get everything lined up first. I'm going to show you a couple of modifications that we're going to have to do to this brass tubing as well. All right, guys, let's go ahead and we've opened up these axle channels here. Like I was saying before, when you see a little line going across the bottom on both sides, you know you should be flush on both sides. Try to hold your file as straight as possible. It's not 100% critical, but it does help keep everything lined up a little bit better. So, and what I'm talking about, that line, if you look in here, you can see a little black score line across there and there. So, and that lets me know that we're flush here and here with the base in the middle. So next thing we need to do is cut these axles. Get you something to mark with. I'm going to put this in here and line it up to the edge. Once I have it lined up to the edge, give me a second, guys. I got to do this off camera because I'm having a hard time seeing it here. Hold it, go to this side, make your mark. And what I'm going to do, where I can cut both of these without having to worry about it again, I go to this other side, do the same thing. I want to make sure there's not, these axles probably are exactly the same size. Now, like I was saying, make sure it's sticking out to the edge and then make it flush. And then once again, come over here, mark it. So I've got a marked edge on this side and then on this end. We'll just cut them real quick. There's a couple different methods. Use a little hacksaw. You got a little vise. These tubes bend pretty easy. I prefer a Dremel tool. I'll show you how I'm going to do it. You can just use a regular cutoff wheel. I'm going to try this diamond one. It's a new one I got. I don't know how good it's going to work, but let's give it a go. Try to keep it as straight as possible. It's going to be a little hot coming off of there, guys. Alright. We need to clean up these edges before we get them glued down. I'm going to go ahead and make sure they're going to fit in here still. And that's going to sit nice in there. There's two things you got to consider when you do this. You're going to have a little bit of this filled in. Let's see if y'all can see it. It's really open here. It's not here. A couple things you can do. I'm going to take a reamer. This is from an air gun. I'm going to stick it here. I'm going to open it up. You can take a drill bit end. You can get a reamer. It's going to be a lot better. But I opened it right up. Now we're going to make this edge smooth. We're going to sand it and I'm going to re-ream it. So I would suggest sanding it a little bit and then reaming it. Get you a small micro file. Cut you a channel in this tubing. As you can see, it opens up a little hole. What we're going to do after we stick the axles in, we're going to wind up gluing them up right there. Now, some people will go ahead and just put a dab of glue and stick the axles in. The reason why I don't like that, if that glue pushes out because of like hydraulic friction or whatever, as you go push the wheels in, you can glue that axle and wheel to this, and then your wheels won't turn. So I like to go ahead and have that opened up on here. We're going to do it again over on this side. I'll do it on both of these axles, and then we'll come back and we'll go from there. So that'll give you an idea of what we're looking at. This is kind of what I described on our one episode. As you can see, for doing the M2 wheel modifications, we did not cut all the way through. Don't cut all the way through, guys. Just cut far enough that you got a little bitty opening. Now you want to use some glue that has some flow to it. You don't want to use anything real heavy. You want something that'll go in there and at least tack onto that. Okay, guys, when you get these channels on these opened up, these little glue channels that we made, make sure that your axle pin is going to go slide through. Okay, if you got some resistance, you know, just take your pin, get something light, and just kind of lightly tap it, and they'll go through. Something else you can do, you can actually crimp these a little bit if you don't want to open that up. Push those pins in there and they'll hold. Also, you can get your axle pin and just bend the end just slightly and push them in, they'll wedge in. Your tires will usually stay, but they have a potential after time to come out, so I like to glue them up. So this is a method that I'm showing you how to do. All right, we're gonna do axle channel glue up. Step 1. Mix up our quick set. You can glue these in too, guys, with the super glue if you want to. I just prefer the JB weld. The JB weld they use is the 6-minute quick set. And I'll show you how I'm going to do this. Take one of these pins. Just a moment. And glue it on the back side. So roll it. What I'm wanting to do is get this epoxy, that channel we cut out. We're gonna put more on there, but for now, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go with these pins right here. We're gonna cut them because they're too long. Okay guys, I was going to set this up on the axle alignment jig. I had it set up, I took it off. All you're going to do is put it on here, wrap the bands around, and get it set in place. However, most of y'all don't have this, so I'm just going to show you how the easy way to do it. This is going to be a display anyway. Going to my son, I'll put in a little display case and give it to him. So it's not going to be played with or raced. If it's been raced, I probably go a little bit more out on it. But just go ahead and we cut down those dressmaker pins. Let's go ahead and install this. We just want to make sure it rolls. I want to make sure those pins are pushed in. And we're just going to take some regular super glue. And on these edges that we notched out, just going to put an ever so slight drop. You don't want that to flow out that way, so don't put too much. You don't want it coming out. Just make sure they're spinning, make sure they're in. Went ahead and did this back one. As you can see, those axles are in, they're not coming out. And you could actually just put this right across here as well. for those axles and glue it in if you want to. I'm putting just a hair more JB Weld right there. You can even put this JB Weld, just run it in there if you want to, like that. And those channels that we cut. It's another option for you. You don't have to put a whole lot here. Enough to hold it in place. That's all you need to do. Actually, what we did on the bottom side of it was enough. Since this is a display and it's not going to be played with or raced, that was more than adequate. We didn't have to do anything else. We're going a little bit overkill here. Okay. All right, guys, still got to clear it. Get it all screwed together. But here's what we got so far. Tail lights are still a little wet. And we're just about ready to shoot clear. To highlight that VW, it was going to be too difficult to paint it with the brushes I have. So what I did, I took some acetone on a Q-tip and just hit the high spots. Take the paint off of it there. I think that's going to look good. It's going to stand out. All right, ready to spray some clear. Okay, guys, got the clear on. Got about 3 coats of clear. Actually, I have a base clear coat on it. I'll tell you what I did. I wanted to use the Createx UVLS clear. The issue with this is you really need to use a 2K if you used any of the Candy 2Os. Just because the dye pigment can bleed into the clear. So what I did is I took some Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover gloss clear, did a light spray over it to kind of act as a sealer, and then I went back over it with the UVLS. Went ahead and decided to try this method, and it actually worked really well. I didn't have any bleeding. At this point, all we got to do is assemble it, and we'll be done. I'm going to put it in a little display case for him. We'll get it together and I'll show you it assembled. Alright guys, there you have it. That is the VW delivery van that I did for my son. Got his little cartoon character up top. Put the L2 wheels on it. See if you can see the inside. Detailed the vents. Steering wheel. RASTA color seats. Very minimal detail on the bottom. I'd like to hear your comments below. What do you think? Y'all have a good day. We got another one coming up soon. I'll catch you on the next one.